In the quiet village of Agbónrín, where the palm trees danced to the whispers of the wind and the river sang melodies of old, there lived a maiden of extraordinary beauty named Àdùnní. She was the pride of her father, Baba Àdùnní, a respected hunter and the envy of every young woman in the village. Her skin, smooth and radiant, bore the rich glow of the evening sun, while her almond-shaped eyes sparkled like the stars over the tranquil river. Her long dark hair cascaded in thick waves down her back, and her lips, full and inviting, carried a smile that could melt even the coldest heart. Her figure, graceful and well-formed, moved with the elegance of an antelope in the wild. Her waist curved delicately, and her steps were light, like a gentle breeze dancing through the trees. But it was not just her beauty that made her stand out. Àdùnní was known for her kindness, a melodious singing voice that echoed through the village, and her skill in weaving the finest fabrics. She took pride in assisting her father with the preparation of his hunting gear, sharpening his arrows and ensuring his bowstring was always firm. Baba Àdùnní often boasted that his daughter had the strength of a warrior and the heart of a queen, a rare jewel among women. Not far from Àdùnní's home lived a courageous young man named Dàpọ. He was the blacksmith's son, a man of striking physique, with broad shoulders, a chiseled chest, and arms hardened from years of working. His skin, dark and gleaming with the sweat of his labor, bore the marks of his strength, and his eyes burned with an intensity that set him apart. Dàpọ was not only strong but fiercely intelligent, known for his sharp mind and unwavering determination. He had a deep love for metal work, creating some of the finest weapons and tools in the village. His hands, rough from years of molding iron, were also gentle when they caressed Àdùnní's face. He also had a fondness for the hunt, often joining the village warriors in tracking game through the thick forest. Since childhood, he and Àdùnní had shared a bond so deep that many believed their destinies were intertwined like the roots of the ancient baobab tree. They dreamed of a future together, one filled with love, happiness, and prosperity. Dàpọ and Àdùnní spent endless evenings together beneath the moonlight sky, whispering dreams of their future. They would sit by the river, Àdùnní leaning against Dàpo's strong chest as he traced small circles on her palm. One day, we will build our own home by this river, he would say, his voice deep and reassuring, and our children will play where we once sat. Àdùnní would laugh, tilting her head to meet his gaze. I will weave the most beautiful fabrics for our home, and you will carve the strongest furniture, she would reply. He adored the way she sang, her voice carrying over the water like a spell-binding lullaby. Many times, he would lift her effortlessly into the air, spinning her around as she giggled, her hair flying like silk in the wind. He had even carved a wooden comb for her, shaping it with care and watching as her delicate fingers ran through its teeth with admiration. Their love was boundless, pure and untouched by the cruel hands of fate, until one day, fate decided to intervene. One evening, the Oba of Agbónrín sent his emissaries to summon Baba Àdùnní to the palace. The king had made a decree. His only son, Prince Adétókunbọ, had reached the age of marriage, and he desired the wife of unmatched beauty. The village elders had spoken highly of Àdùnní's grace and charm, and the Oba wished for her to become the future queen. When the news reached Àdùnní's ears, she was struck with horror. She loved Dàpọ with all her heart and had no desire to marry a man she barely knew. Memories of their love flooded her mind, their stolen moments under the moonlight sky, their shared laughter and whispered promises. Dàpọ, upon hearing the announcement, was consumed with rage and sorrow. How could fate be so cruel? How could their love be torn apart by the will of a king? That night, under the ancient Iroko tree where they had shared many memories, Àdùnní and Dàpọ met in secret. Tears streamed down Àdùnní's face as she clung to Dàpo's chest. I cannot live without you, Dàpọ, she whispered. I would rather die than belong to another. Dàpọ held her tightly. We will find a way, my love. I will not let them take you from me. Determined to fight for his love, Dàpọ sought the counsel of the village priest, Baba Ifa. The old man sighed deeply upon hearing Dàpo's plea. To defy the king is to defy the gods themselves. But if your love is true, there is a path, one riddled with danger. The priest revealed an ancient ritual that could bind Àdùnní and Dàpọ's souls forever, but it required them to leave the village before the next full moon. The price of failure was death. They decided to flee Agbónrín under the cover of darkness, but fate once again was watching. On the night of their escape, Baba Ifa's assistant, who was a close friend of one of the king's guards, overheard their plan and betrayed them by informing his friend. The guards were waiting in the shadows, ready to strike. Swords clashed, voices screamed, and in the chaos, an arrow struck Dàpọ in the chest. Àdùnní let out a piercing cry as she fell to her knees beside him. Blood stained the heads, and his breath came in ragged gasps. "Dàpọ, don't leave me," she sobbed. With trembling fingers, he cupped her face. "Our love will live forever," he whispered, before his body went still. But unknown to the villagers and Àdùnní, the Baba, who had foreseen Dàpọ's fate, had secretly prepared a powerful charm. As Dàpọ's body was left in the forest, the charm worked its magic, breathing life back into him. When he awoke, he was alone, his love taken from him, his identity erased from the village. He would live, but in the shadows, forever longing for the love he once knew. Pain ripped through Àdùnní's soul. She lifted her face to the sky and let out a wail so haunting that even the trees seemed to weep with her. The guards seized her, dragging her back to the village, where preparations for her wedding to the prince continued as if nothing had happened. On the day of the wedding, Àdùnní walked into the palace adorned in the finest beads and fabric, yet her heart was dead. That night, when the prince reached for her, she closed her eyes and let the pain consume her. Weeks turned to months, and Àdùnní, once full of life, became a mere shadow of herself. One fateful evening, as she wandered towards the river, overwhelmed by grief and the thought of suicide to reunite with her dead lover, a familiar voice called out to her, "Àdùnní, it is me." She froze, her heart pounding. Slowly, she turned, and there he stood, Dàpọ, alive, strong, his eyes filled with longing. Shock and disbelief flooded her face as tears welled up in her eyes. "Dàpọ, it cannot be. They said you were dead. I saw you. I mourned you." Dàpọ stepped closer, his voice thick with emotion. "I never left, my love. I was saved by the Baba Ifa's charm, hidden from the world, watching over you. I could not let you suffer any longer." Tears streamed down Àdùnní's cheeks as she threw herself into his arms, sobbing against his chest. He held her tightly, his embrace strong, as if he would never let her go again. "I thought I lost you forever," she whispered. "Never, Àdùnní. We were meant to be together. Let us leave this place and never return. Let us write our own destiny." With one final glance at the village that had brought them both love and pain, they turned and vanished into the night, bound for a future where love alone would rule their lives. The village mourned, believing that Àdùnní had drowned in the river, but her body was never found. Some whispered that the river spirit had taken her, while others claimed she had vanished into the night, lost to sorrow. Only the wind and the flowing waters knew the truth, that love had led her away beyond the reach of the village forever. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stories. Click on the like button and share it with your loved ones.